Alright guys, welcome to Weird Faith. I'm Phil.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Josh.
And we are here to bring you a whole new perspective on life. Isn't life grand? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it amazing to have breath in our lungs and blood pumping through our bodies? It's amazing. Isn't it amazing?
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
You're kind of like on a different level.
Man,
right
I am just hyped up.
This is how amazing it is.
I wasn't ready for the podcast until Phil just did that. And I didn't know he was doing that.
Hopefully you're ready to listen. But hey, we want to thank you guys so much for watching with us, for sharing, for commenting. We got so many comments this week. One in particular was Ryan Sigmund. He was on there talking to us about who his favorite princesses were. One thing that he brought up, which I think we missed this last time, was the death of the brother on Big Hero 6.
Oh, dude.
That was rough.
Okay.
Dude, why would you even bring that up?
Yeah.
I know.
So, I think because we talked about
Bing Bong.
saddest cinematic deaths. I think it's up there. That's actually probably worse than Bing Bong.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair almost to them for them to do that to us as the
I forget that that's a Disney movie.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a great movie.
Yeah. Jamie Barber said she doesn't really like princesses, but really likes Belle because, you know, the reading, she can vibe with that. Okay. Carrie Davis talked about how, like, resilient Cinderella was. And then Nesha voted on who the Weird Award winner is, which brings us to our next part. Before we go, though, I want to tell you that we have a brand new Instagram page for Weird Faith. So go and find that and like it. And that way we'll be able to share a little bit more and not take over the church, you know, Clarksburg Baptist Church page.
Yeah, like we don't need polls on Disney princesses on our
church right. Yeah, that doesn't make a ton of sense. So make sure that you don't miss anything by going and liking. And let's continue the conversation there. That's what we want. We want to build a community with you. So that brings us to our Weird Award winner, which Josh got. No, you're not Josh. You're Scott. Scott got one vote. You did.
Yeah.
But
I'm good with that. Kate
Josh
probably did it.
Are we allowed to vote from now on?
No. Josh, you won the Weird Award this week.
I'm honored.
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen to me.
I don't know what you did last time, but it was weird.
I feel like it was the tale, like the original Little Mermaid stuff.
Yeah.
It got pretty gruesome and dark, and it just was weird.
It got so dark, I feel like I was in Up again for a little bit, like for the first 5 minutes.
So here is our punishment today. Scott, reveal it for us.
So in a few minutes, Josh is going to host, and he's going to talk about the human body, just the wonderland that is the human body, right? And so we thought it'd be funny if we put some limitations on him today.
Oh, no.
So, if you ever notice, actually all three of us do this, we all talk with our hands. Josh will not be able to use his hands or arms the rest of this podcast.
Okay.
But it's not honor system or trust. We're actually going to tie you down with these...
Oh. Is it like a straitjacket?
Zip ties.
Oh, you got zip ties.
Yeah, right here to your... All right.
We promise we'll undo this later.
I had no idea what was happening today.
Yeah, that's most of our show.
Yeah,
most of us don't have any idea what's happening. Scott and I don't know the topic really, other than it's about the human body. And Josh didn't know he was going to be zip tied to the chair.
I didn't. And seriously, I can't move my arms at all.
I'm so tempted to push him over right now.
I think this is the same thing that happened to, or they had to do for Ricky Bobby on Talladega Nights, because his hands just kept floating around. So this would have been a good solution.
The best thing is, we already talked about this. Like, anything you want to do, you're going to be reliant upon us.
Right.
So, like, I told Phil to be prepared to scroll on your computer for you. If you need to type anything, adjust the microphone.
Your mustache looks so itchy right now.
So, the second that this went down, I got an itch above my ear on the right side of my head over here. Phil, do you mind?
This one?
Yeah. There you go. You got it. Dude, that was good aim. Good aim.
Yeah. So, just tell Phil what you need to do.
Yeah.
I would sit there and laugh at you.
Will you give me water from my mug? So you guys didn't realize this is actually going to be more punishment for you.
Right, yeah.
I need you to.
I'm across the table. I can't reach.
That's true.
But I'd prefer it be you.
Your arms are long enough. You can reach it.
You can do it, Mr. Fantastic.
So we're going to talk about how amazing the human body is. God has just designed it in an awesome and amazing way, and I think that's what our weird facts are about this week, right, Josh?
Absolutely, yes. The human body is incredible. I mean, like we talk about, I think all three of us are fans of Marvel and DC. We love superheroes and superpowers and things like that. The body really is full of superpowers, and the body does some incredible things, and man, it is just a testament to like God's goodness and his creativity that our bodies function the way that they do. Are you laughing at my arms?
It's totally good.
I know I keep moving my fingers. Hey, this one just came loose. I'll play fair though. I'll
now you see that it wasn't like as intense as he's making it look.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, but the human body is pretty amazing. So we thought we'd start things off today with just some amazing facts about the human body. Some of these that I found, I'm like, I don't even know how you could like fact check some of these, find out if they're myth or if they're real. But pretty amazing stuff. So we're gonna start things off with Scott over there and see what he's got for us.
So I prioritized the ones that were kind of disgusting.
Oh.
Right? So my first one, did you know that you produce 40,000 liters of spit in your lifetime? To put it another way, that's enough spit to fill out 500 bathtubs.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that gross?
That actually doesn't feel far-fetched. I feel like I produce a lot of saliva.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe
That's
I'm
crazy,
actually the outlier on the
You maybe do like
upside
600.
of that. Yeah.
Again, how do you fact check that?
I guess
Get, like a little baby's born automatically in a science experiment and they make him spit.
It's like the
all day
Truman
long.
Show. He was they decided this guy's going to be an experiment. And so, yeah.
That's weird. That's pretty
weird.
weird.
That was pretty weird.
You got another one? No.
Are we going to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see what else we got. This one's also just gross. The average nose produces about a cupful of nasal mucus every single day.
Every day.
Every single day. So what you just like took a drink of that?
That's what that is.
It's a cupful of mucus.
That's yesterday's mucus from Phil.
What am I going to do with it? I can't
know.
not have mucus.
Hey, I appreciate not wasting things.
That's right.
Putting it to
we
use.
try and use the whole,
Wow.
the whole system.
I'll do one more because this is also, well, actually, this one's kind of like part one, part two. The entire surface of your skin is replaced every single month.
Wow.
With like skin cells. Because every minute you shed over 30,000 dead skin cells.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Because of that like astronomical number, you will have 1,000 different skins in your life.
Man, that's more than I have on Call of Duty.
Dude.
Skins on there.
So I've heard, and you might have found this while looking down that rabbit hole too. It's something like every 5 years, all the cells in your body completely are replaced.
Oh yeah, I remember something.
So
like that before.
you're a completely new person.
More
Don't
or less,
act like you can't change, because you're a completely the person I was 3 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it is not even the same person that I am.
Hashtag new cells, new me.
Yeah.
There we go. Forget the New Year's.
So,
can I do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Maybe we spent too much time on this, but these really made me laugh. I went for like the weird, like legit weird, kind of gross ones. Spread across your entire lifetime, most people will spend an average of 1 whole year sitting on a toilet.
Wow. That seems low.
It does seem low.
I don't know.
If you have kids, that's where you go.
Oh, and also like in the age of Netflix and TikTok,
Right,
you got to be spending more time there. And now the last one that kind of tie that into, on average, you will fart enough every single day to fill 1 party balloon.
I believe that. Actually,
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think I could be employed by Party City. It would be Farty City.
There you go. There you go.
So those are mine.
Those are yours. I've got. I was thinking about our senses. How many senses do we have?
6.
6.
Some
You
of
see
us,
dead
right?
people,
There's a movie about
right?
that.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, right?
So
Dead.
neurologists actually say that number is more like 20 or 30
Really?
senses. Now, when you hear what these other senses are, you might understand why there's so many more. But, what are they? They're taste, touch, sight, smell, hearing. Yeah, okay. So here's some that we missed with that small sample size that we learned about when we were children. And that here's one, and you're going to have fun with me trying to read these things too. But equilibrioception, meaning the sense of balance, you never really think about that before, but how do you know you're upright?
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever jumped off of a high cliff or something into water, or maybe I know we've talked before about going whitewater rafting, and you get knocked off in the water, and sometimes it is hard to tell what is up and what is down.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, you know, that's a sense of equilibrium. Another one is proprioception, and that's knowing where the parts of your body are without looking for them. Which
My hand is right here.
yeah, right. But
My
if you
hands aren't
couldn't
going
see it-
anywhere. I know where they are.
we could go way far, like deep into it. But do you know you can actually, like, so say you put like a mirror here or something where you can see a hand. They've like made it to where it looks like you have both hands here, and you can actually like feel pain if they stab.
Oh yeah,
it.
I've seen
Dude,
that.
I've totally
Yeah.
seen that on those. Man, there's a show. It's like weird facts and science, and they do that where they replace it,
Right.
And then, like hit the fake hand with
a
a hammer.
hammer, that's
and
what
they'll
it
be
was.
like,
Oh, there's
freak
there's
out,
a guy on
scream,
Netflix who is a magician. He like stabs it.
Yeah.
Like stabs with a knife and they freak out.
Yeah. And then there's also like phantom limb pain. When
Yes.
someone loses a body part and they can still sense it and feel it. And people will even say, like, no, I still have two hands. You just can't see the one. I know where the other one's at, which is such a weird. Our
is
brain
so
is so
But I think
strange.
when people have lost limbs, one of the ways that they help like heal, like they do that with a mirror
yeah.
to make it look like they have it. I remember
Wow.
that. And they basically make them like hit it so they know it's not.
right.
Grey's Anatomy went there for you.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Here's another one is kinesthesia, which is a sense of movement. Like, I guess, like you're in a train or something like that. Are you all right?
Yeah. All right, I was trying to unlock my screen, but I broke loose again.
Oh, come on.
There we go. Time
That
me
should be
back up.
better.
There
That
we
should
go.
be better.
There we go.
But like, I guess, like if you're in a train and you feel movement. Another one is thermoception, which is we don't think about a lot. The sense of knowing hot and cold.
Yeah.
Another one is the ability to feel pain. And
Can't even get you back.
the other one is the sense of the passing of time. And those are just a couple other senses they say that we have. It's just kind of weird to think. And I also learn, the older I get, the more I learn what I learned in like elementary school was wrong.
Yeah.
They never
happens
talked
to me
about
all the
any of
time.
this stuff. One that I was really surprised by, and you guys might be too young to have learned this, but I've talked to people my age and older, that I learned that the tongue had different parts of it that tasted different things. Like this is the sour spot, this is the bitter spot, and your tongue has taste buds that are all exactly the same. And you might kind of feel it in one place other than another, but you don't have like, oh, if I touch this spot with a sour thing, it's going to taste sour in this spot. That was garbage. But they taught me that when I was in
Yeah,
elementary.
I read it. They have 8,000 taste buds, the average tongue.
Right.
And that each one has 100 cells a piece that help you taste.
That's
food.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all the same. So.
What else are we being lied about?
I know.
Or lied to about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that conspiracy like everybody else on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're going to be a different kind of podcast.
Yeah, right. Better stay on track here. What do you got, John?
All right, so some interesting things, and I'm going to go with some of these really like far-fetched things that like I have no
May not
idea if
be
this
true.
is real. It sounds impossible to be true. We'll start with one that I could believe. You talked about the reproduction of cells and things like that. So by the time I start this sentence right here and finish this sentence, approximately 50,000 cells in your body will die and be replaced with new cells as I'm finishing the sentence right now.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to those 50,000 cells.
All those Joshes.
But it's also celebrating the birth of all those new cells. And more are dying right now. There we go. A couple of the more far-fetched, I have no idea if this is real, but it just blew my mind. I read this, that if a human being's DNA was uncoiled, it would stretch 10 billion miles, which is far enough to go from Earth to Pluto and back. Round trip.
That can't be true.
Talk about another thing we learned in elementary school that was wrong. Pluto's no longer a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that.
I blame Dr. Tyson. It was his fault.
Pluto is a planet.
It's a
as
planet.
far as I'm concerned.
And you can get there by stretching your
By
DNA.
stretching your DNA.
That's all we gotta do.
I don't know if that's true.
It can't be.
But the video that I watched it on had like 20,000 views, so it's
That's gotta be.
It's gotta be
right.
true.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know about that. Here's one that I think is easy to believe the more I thought about it, that the pinky finger contributes 50% of the hand strength.
Wow.
And I started thinking about how many times I've carried like 4 grocery bags with just my pinky finger. But if you kind of flex your fingers around, and that's all I can do with my hands right now. If you flex your fingers around, the pinky does feel like
weirdly
a little bit stronger. Maybe it's the angle.
But the only time it's ever hindered is whenever you're drinking like a fancy tea.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
So like,
If a heavy tea, you would be in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I wonder if that's why we pinky promise, because I'm saying my word is this strong.
Hey, let's see.
It's strong as my pinky.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't.
You can reach your arm further than that. Another one that was crazy, and it's another distance thing. I don't know why I'm so worried about unraveling the human body. And
We should be
unspooling
worried
it.
about it.
Yeah, unspooling the human body. But I read that there are 45 miles of nerves in a human being's skin.
It's kind of gross.
That just seems crazy because, like, I mean, I guess it's all condensed and
Right.
like,
Like wrapped up. And
45 miles. So that's like from here to what, Morgantown?
So how
Or
did-
further?
But then the other thing is like billions of miles.
10 billion miles of
makes
DNA
zero sense.
uncoiled. No, I don't really believe it, but I want somebody to prove it right or prove it wrong. Not by uncoiling your DNA and trying to do it, but
Well, I read that there was 100,000 miles of blood vessels. Was another one that I saw.
Yeah,
our bodies are insane, man.
yeah.
It's crazy. Our bodies are miraculous in how they function. Let me tell you guys a story about probably one of the grossest things I've seen with the human body, but also like the most up close I've seen to the insides of a human body. So
Will anything that you say get you in legal trouble after this?
it might get other people in legal trouble.
Okay, then we're good.
No, we should be fine. I've worked some strange jobs in my day. I think you guys would
Dirty
probably
jobs.
agree with the same thing. Phil worked at Chuck E. Cheese for a while.
Yeah.
We both have a list of interesting jobs under our belt. But for a little while, I worked as a floor finisher at a hospital. And after 6 months of just making the floors in that hospital as shiny and waxy as they possibly could be, I took another job in that hospital as an orderly in the surgery department. I don't know how my floor finishing skills translated to do that. We were called orderlies. We called ourselves the Otterlies. Shout out to Edgar, Morgan, Jonathan, and Victoria.
What's up, weirdos?
That was the Avengers back in the
you
day.
go. Yeah.
But so what I did as an orderly was go in after surgeries. I'd go into the operating rooms and sweep up, mop the rooms, blood, bone, urine, whatever is all over the floor, all over the beds. We had to clean up the space.
How many miles of those things did you find?
Hundreds of billions. You could go to Pluto and back. So we'd go in and clean up and sterilize everything, set up equipment for other, the next surgeries or whatever. We just helped out. We were just a pair of hands to help out with that stuff. So I had only been working in surgery for 2 weeks when I had my first call weekend. And they called me in and, that's pretty easy for me. I just go set up the room, make sure things are clean, make sure they have all the things that they need. And then I'd go to the break room and eat all the doctor's snacks and watch baseball or something like that. So 20 minutes in, they call me. They call the break room and they say, hey, we need your help with this leg amputation. Like, okay, clearly, obviously I'm dreaming. Like, what do you mean you need my help? Like, did I not set up some equipment right? Or what is it? So I walk down to the operating room and they come out with these big gowns and all of this stuff to sterilize me. And they're like cleaning me up in front of the sink. And they say, hey, we need your help. This leg is far too big. We can't hold it up to cut it off.
Shout out to that dude, right? I'm going to be the man that they're like, dude, this guy's too swole.
Have you seen the quads on this guy?
We're going to need another pair of hands.
Never skipped leg day. Yeah. And I will say it was a large leg. I bet it weighed as much as I do. And I'm not a light guy either. But so they start like sterilizing me and scrubbing me in. And I go in there and it's just hot under these lights. And this surgeon is standing there and he's like, hey, yeah, sorry, I really need your help with this leg amputation. I'm like, dude, 2 weeks ago, I was waxing bathroom floors in this hospital. This makes no sense, right? So I show up and for an hour and a half, I'm just standing there in front of this just rotted leg, holding this gigantic leg up so this surgeon could burn through it and cut things. And he's talking me through the whole thing. He's like,
"We're gonna need a bigger saw."
Dude, it was crazy. So I actually thought, because they do use saws for the bones and stuff,
yeah.
but for a lot of the other like inner pieces in the leg, they use like these little torch things and like cut through things with fire. And
Ooh.
so like
So you were smelling it, too.
You're smelling.
How many of
talked about the senses?
How many of the 20-some senses were you using?
Yeah,
to smell?
Right. Well, it was hot in there. So the thermo, whatever. There were some interesting smells in there. But I'm watching this surgeon right before my eyes. Right, I'm holding this leg up for him. He's putting my hand in. He couldn't do it right now because I'm zip tied. Right? But he's putting my hand inside this guy's leg and telling me like, "Hey, can you hold this? Can you pull it that way? Why
didn't he just use like a sword or something?
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, I think they did it better back in like medieval times.
Right, yeah, guillotine or something. Splash.
Yeah,
Gone.
it was messy, but
He just wanted to use all his tools in his tool chest.
I know, and I think he wanted to scare me away from the job too. Like, I had no business being in that operating room,
Oh my goodness.
helping with this at all. Right, it was terrifying. I had to take the leg afterwards, and holding a dead lamb is really interesting.
Dead weight.
It's just dead weight, and it's not moving. It's just I'm holding a leg, and it was probably like 50 pounds or something.
Oh
like that.
my gosh.
But I had to wrap it up and take it. But man, the adrenaline running through my body for that. I don't really like blood and gore and things like that. So
Dude, I told him a story earlier, and he looked cringy. Like he looked like he was gonna throw up.
Yeah, I'm not.
I didn't know that until earlier today.
Right,
so
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how I made it through. It was the grace of God. It was just the adrenaline, I guess.
It's
but
probably your like polite nature is why. I would have been like, dude, I can't do this, and you're just over there like, okay, yeah.
So I'd be all in.
It felt necessary.
Let's do it. I'd be.
Like
I'd
you
have fun.
grabbing tools out of your pockets.
Yeah, I got some stuff you can use. I got a machete. What do you want?
Yeah, dude, it was insane. That brings us to our weird faith application today. I will need Phil to just unlock my screen right there. There we go. There we go. If you could scroll down a little bit, there's the top of there. So that brings us to our application today, and this is something that I heard years ago from a pastor in, I think it was a series on the book of Judges, and that was this: that God doesn't want your ability. God wants your availability. So his main point was like availability is so much more important than ability, right? We tend to measure our worth and our potential by our abilities and our talents and our skills and maybe how competent we are at doing something. But what God wants and what we see in the Bible is that God just wants simple, faithful obedience, to make yourself available to be used by a God who is much more able than we are in our own capacities, right? So when I was summoned to that operating room, I could have cowered back and said, no way, I can't do this, right? And that's definitely, like, looking back, I don't know why I didn't say that, but I would have said, I can't do this. Have you looked at my resume, right? I have no experience in leg amputations, believe it or not. I just was mopping bathrooms a week ago. Have you looked at my track record? I have no business being here and helping with this. I don't have those skills, right? But that doctor didn't need me to do all of the work, right? He needed me to hold the leg and just do my job by making myself available to help so that he could do what he was made to do and that he could shine and do what he was best at, right? And I think it's the same way with the kingdom of God, and I think it's the same way in all of our lives, wherever you're at. I think we kind of fool ourselves sometimes thinking that God just needs us to be a superstar and that we have to have it all figured out and that I need to be really impressive in order to do big things to change the world or expand the kingdom. And most of the time, I think all God really wants from us is simple obedience. Right? We look at the story of David fighting Goliath in the Old Testament, right? David wasn't... Sorry, I almost coughed all over the mic because I can't cover my mouth. This is not safe. But David wasn't this impressive, strong, intimidating warrior, right? He didn't go face Goliath based on his track record or his credibility, right? He just said yes.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to make myself available, and I'm going to leave the rest to God. I'm going to trust the consequences to him. If you go look at the book of Judges, super weird book, right?
So strange.
I think the other day we were talking about the book of Judges, just the strange stories in the book of Judges, right? But through the book of Judges, you see over and over and over again, Israel falls into oppression, and God raises up a judge to deliver them. And every single time there's flaws, brokenness, inadequacy, just riddled through these people that God raises up. But God's doing something, like he's proven something there in the Bible that like we don't have to be impressive. Right? God can use the most broken and the smallest of things. We just need to make ourselves available. Phil, I'm gonna need you to scroll down a little bit. I should have this scripture memorized, but I love the way Paul says this in 2 Corinthians 12:9. It says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. For my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me."
Yeah.
So, like that's the challenge for all of us today, for the three of us, for all of you weirdos listening. How would the world shake if we just decided to forget about how able we are, and simply just said, yes, here I am. I'm going to make myself available. I'm not impressive. I may not have the skills. I'm full of insecurity and inadequacy, but here I am. I'm going to make myself available. Right? It didn't matter that I wasn't a surgeon. It didn't matter that that David wasn't this mighty warrior.
Right.
It matters that we say, yes, I'm going to be obedient and just say, God, I'm available.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you guys think about that?
The one thing I thought is interesting is, we've talked before, and there's been sermons called like dangerous prayers.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rochelle ever talked about this specific one, but I remember praying to God and telling him, hey, God, I am available. That's a very dangerous statement because you got to be prepared for what comes next. Because I was on a mission trip with my brother who was doing most of the speaking. At that time, believe it or not, I used to be very quiet and I hated public speaking. And I was put in a position where I was like, God, I feel like you're wanting me to do something. So God, I pray, I just want to let you know I'm available. Within an hour after that prayer, I'm not saying this is what happened, but Todd was getting some like the bubble guts and he just didn't feel good.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like I had to speak. And I literally told God, okay, I'm available, but I'm not doing that. After this. And so I made Todd still do it. And he did it. But I was like, man, afterwards, I felt terrible. I made a commitment to God, say, hey, I'm available. And then I said, nah, not really.
Right, yeah. Missed out on something too, Well, that's the story that comes to mind for me about this is the audacity that the little boy had with his lunch to come to Jesus and bring his, like, can you imagine being that kid? Like 5,000 people, whatever.
He shows up with a Lunchable.
Yeah, it says, oh, I'll help you.
It's adorable.
But he just brought what he had, and he brought it to the table. And sometimes another thing that kind of like feels that way, sometimes we can be that way as parents. Like, well, I don't have maybe all the skills or to give my kids everything they could want, or but there's like a commercial about fostering that's like that. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the coolest person in the world. You can be available to someone, and you can step into a situation to help someone. You don't have to be a therapist to help your friends. Just being available and being there and showing up is more than most people will ever do. And sometimes those with talents can sit on the sideline and say that their talents are too important to use in these type of different scenarios. I'm too smart for this, or, whatever, my skills deserve better than this lowly thing.
Right.
And they don't use them. And so those skills are useless. And then they just, they just go to waste.
Yeah.
But being available, and whether that's in our relationship with God, making those things available to him and showing up, or in our friendships and in our relationships and all those type of things, just being there is a big part.
That's what matters to people most. Like, and I've kind of believed that lie before. If I'm in a situation where somebody might need counseling, or they're experiencing something where I'm like, well, I don't have all the words to say. I don't know what counseling technique is best here. most of the time people just want somebody to sit next to you and just feel the pain with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, hey, it's a bad day.
Right. And no,
I'm not going to offer you a solution, but
Right.
I'm going to be right next to you.
Exactly. And that's the important part is know that your ability there and like don't try and prescribe to them some kind of crazy, secret thing that'll just say, hey, look, I don't have a lot of answers. I don't have a lot of experience with this, but I love you and I want to be here with you. I know that, this is a tough time and I don't have the experience. And I've had to say that to people before. I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And I don't have any answers, but I'm not leaving, and I'm all in on you. And whether that's, whether I can bring a skill to this or not is not the problem. It's whether or not I can be available to these people.
Yeah, I'll never forget. It's weird how sometimes you learn like some of the best ministry or Christian principles from things that are like not related to it whatsoever. I was watching the show How I Met Your Mother a long time ago. It's one of my favorite shows, like top 10 comedies for me. And
My mother?
Yeah, your mother. How I Met Your Mother.
You stay away from my mother.
Did you meet Phil's mother?
And one of the characters, his dad passes away on the show, and it's a really sad episode. And he goes on to talk about, like, he's kind of like eulogizing, just kind of thinking about what his dad was. And he talks about him not being perfect, not being the best at all these different things. But then he finally said, kids don't understand logic. They understand who shows up.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
I think through that all the time about all the different ways that God has called me into situations where I'm like, I am not skilled in this regard. Never a surgical room. But I just think about different moments, and I remember thinking, okay, but God did everything to make himself available to me.
Yeah.
Maybe all he wants is for me to be available to somebody else in that moment and just be present and just to walk through life with somebody.
Yeah. I love the word you used a minute when we talked about the boy who gave up his lunch. Like you said, that's adorable, right? And that's, I think we need to realize sometimes, like, we don't need these big gestures of faith. Sometimes it's just the adorable, like this small little
simple,
right? Yeah, like hey, I'm my little bit here that I have, I'm gonna offer and say, God, you do with it what you want to.
Yeah.
Right. Like so maybe that's the challenge for you, is to just say, like, God, when opportunities arise, like, give me the courage to just say, yes, I'm going to make myself available, whether it's helping somebody in need, or maybe it's whatever it is. Different opportunities are going to arise each day. Just saying, I'm going to make myself available.
So I don't know who's having an amputation in your life or what they need, but show up, be available. Whether that's God calling you to do something that's outside of your comfort zone, whether that's picking up the phone and calling someone, texting somebody, going and knocking on a neighbor's door that you haven't seen in a while, you're not sure what's going on. All those little things in our mind are the kingdom things, the big things of stepping into those situations. You got anything for us to end us out, Scott?
Not really.
Yeah?
I think we're good. I want to thank
Tell
Josh.
us your deepest, darkest secret.
Deepest, darkest secret. Let's see. I don't know, man.
I thought he was
If
gonna
it's
say
not
something.
good enough, we'll keep asking.
Yeah, we'll bring it back next
Every
week.
single episode. We're
Drop down in the comments whatever you think
Deepest,
Scott's
darkest
deepest,
secret.
darkest secret is. His beard isn't real.
Yeah.
It's fake. He puts it on every week.
Hey, remember
After all,
too, we want to hear from you guys. What weird facts should we bring? What topics? What do you think we should talk about?
I said last week or last time, 2 weeks ago, that you should send topics to the next host. Did anybody send you anything?
No, I didn't get anything.
Wow.
But
What fans?
it's okay.
Yeah,
I was
that's
able to
okay.
come
You
up
can
with
redeem
something.
yourself this upcoming week. I'm going to be the host, right?
You'll be
next.
hosting.
I'll be the next one. So make sure you tell us what are some amazing things about the human body that you have discovered and figured out.
Please make the gross ones the best ones.
Yeah.
Like, those were my favorite.
Yeah.
Like,
we want to hear your comments. We want to read them. We want to talk about them. Vote on who the next weird award winner is. And we'll see if Josh is still alive the next time he's going to be here.
I'll be here for the next episode.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going anywhere in the next 2 weeks.
He's going to need a lot of help. He's going to need someone to show up to take him down to the bathroom and give him some food, be available over the next couple weeks till we film the next podcast. But hey, we love you guys, and we're so excited to build this community with you. Share it, comment on it, and let's continue this conversation, and let's get weird, because normal isn't working.
See you, weirdos.